Good work. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. If you are not comfortable coming up onto your hands and knees, we're going to be doing bird dog on our hands and knees. So if you're not comfortable with that, you could do dead bug. So you could do dead bug where you're reaching one arm and leg opposite, one arm and leg opposite. Make sure you're not pulling your body out, right? So only let your arm and leg go out as far as you can stay stable without bringing a lot of strain into your neck and shoulders. Notice what's happening in your body when you start pushing too hard. Okay, so up onto our hands and knees. This is a go-to exercise. Excuse me, I keep losing my pants here. This is a go-to exercise for physical therapists. You want to try to create as much as possible your neutral pelvis and spine here. So this position is basically like this position. My head is into the mat, my ribs are into the mat, my pelvis is into the mat, right? So when I come over, it's the same thing, right? I've got that head into an imaginary mat, ribs into an imaginary mat, pelvis into an imaginary mat. I hope that makes sense. And then what you want to do is hold those places stable as we do bird dog. We're going to slide one leg out and then the opposite arm, and then slide it back in. Go to the other side. So the things that do tend to happen are usually through your pelvis. So that as the leg goes out, there's a tendency to do this and rotate the hip. So see if you can keep the pelvis level as you go out instead of rotating. And instead of dropping here, see how far your arm and leg can move out, but monitor that leg. And see if you can create a little straighter leg. We all tend to think that our leg is straight, but it's actually, we tend to bend our knees. So as you extend out, I notice that for me too. So straighten that leg. Now right here, are you dropping your body at all? Can you stay up and lifted? Come back in. Can you draw the abdominals in and up under your heart here? Get a little more length. So level 1, stay with that. Level 2, actually level 1, let's all get on the same side. Level 1, let's just go ahead and lift and lower a small amount. If your balance is a little challenging, just do the leg. And then level 2, it's a little bit higher. Again, check your pelvis. Check your connection between your ribs and your hips, that you're keeping those nice and stable. Good. And as you come up, reach away, hand and leg away. 4 to go. 3, 2, 1, and come back in. Good work. I like to get a little toe stretch in here. You notice the light is changing a lot. It's Thursday, and there's a lot of clouds coming and going, so a lot of light changes. It's so beautiful out. Take a nice deep breath. So you notice I'm sitting back on my heels. That may not work for you. I'm tucking my toes under both feet, and you could just bring your bottom back towards your heels. It's very important to continue to have this flexibility in our toes. If it's comfortable for you, you can sit up, right? And if it gets a little intense, go, okay, that's enough. This is a stretch that just a little bit, it happens quickly, it creates a big change. And if we don't have that ability to move through our feet, then we start to shuffle. So we want to keep that dexterity there as much as possible. Now, we only did one side of that repeater, so let's do the other side. I'm going to turn around. Okay, so we're going to elongate once again. I've switched arm and leg. And level 1, just a small little lift, or you could just do the leg if balance is a challenge for you, right? Level 2, small movement, not too high. And you guys, again, really watch the center that as your leg comes up, you don't start doing this, okay? Lengthen out. Also watch that the hip isn't rotating. You know, that would be good if that was the purpose of the exercise, and it certainly could be. We could be working on hip mobility, but we're really working on stability and balance. So important. Check your knees, see if it feels like if you could straighten it a little more. Make sure your shoulders are sliding down, lifting up and out of your body a bit so you're not compressing down into the arm. And check that. Ladies, we tend to hyperextend. So watch that you're not hyperextending that arm. The soft side of the elbow should be facing in. Let's do 4 more. You breathing? Check your core. Last one. Good job. Okay, so let's try a second toe stretch. Notice if you feel like it's already made a difference. My toes already feel better. Happy feet, happy body, right? Roll the shoulders a little bit. Take a nice deep breath. Relax where you need to. We're going to be coming down onto our stomachs. Life is always in front of us, right? Life is in front of us, our computers, our cooking, our driving. So it's very important to add components of extension into that upper back. We start to lose that. We become a little more kyphotic, see a lot of the forward head position. So these exercises are helpful in refamiliarizing our upper back and upper rib cage, mid-back with this extension motion, right? We want to make sure that we don't bypass that and end up in our low back. We want to get that extension evenly distributed through the spine. So if you're feeling compression in your back, back off. I'm going to bring my towel in, so I'm not right on the mat or the carpet, and I'm going to just elongate my spine, elongate my legs, point my toes a little bit, and just a little bit of glute connection. I'm going to turn my mat here. All right. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have your hands back by your shoulders. Elbows are just gently tucked in. The forehead is going to be on the towel. So lift the pelvic floor and the abdominals. And I'd like you to, or your head could be floating if you don't want it down. What I'd like you to try to do is press your chest into the floor by engaging your upper back, and then relax. Again, drop your chest down into the floor, engaging your upper back, and relax. Sometimes that's a hard thing to feel, but those are the muscles that we're going to be using to support the head. Our upper back supports the head. So inhale to prepare. And as you begin to press your chest down, elongate your neck as if you're a turtle coming out of its shell. Keep dropping your shoulders down away from your ears. And think about what your neck is doing here. There's 7 cervical vertebrae, so feel how they're gently sliding one over the other. And then now I'm into that upper back. And feel how the vertebrae are kind of sliding one down over the other. I want to make sure I'm not in my low back. I'm reaching my chest forward. I'm still imprinting here. I'm pressing gently down. And then as I come down, I'm going to lengthen through my neck, keep my shoulders relaxed, and back down. Inhale to prepare. Elongate through the top of your head. Bring your turtleneck in. Reach your sternum forward as you slide your shoulders back and down, shining as if you had a spotlight right across, right in the center of your collarbones, trying to shine that spotlight forward. Good idea to lift the core here a little bit. Good. Now, while you're here, if you feel comfortable, see if you can take your hands off the floor. Make sure that doesn't bring discomfort into your back. If it does, come down a bit. Lower your hands. Reconnect to that. Get your length from your toes to your head. And once again, see if you can just float your hands off the floor. Can you feel the upper back, mid-back, around your shoulder blades, not your neck? And then back down. Can you get a little longer? Can you draw the sternum forward a little bit more while still letting those lower ribs imprint? And again, float the hands off. And then bring those hands back to your sides and lower your head. Let's just stretch our back for a moment, coming up onto all fours. So at any time during class, this is another wonderful way to stretch. As you're rounding into what we call the cat, the focus is the low back. Rounding the low back. As you move into what I call happy dog, because the tail's up, you want to focus on the thoracic spine. So there goes that upper back. And then as you round into cat, it's the lower back that we're trying to round. We tend to be plenty rounded up here. But we want to try to get a little more in this area. And then as you go into happy dog, don't push it through the low back, but think about that upper back. I'm sort of opening my chest and kind of pulling myself forward a little bit. Good. And then again, rounding, feel that tailbone going down, getting a little more flexion right into that lumbar spine. And then drawing those shoulder blades gently down the back. Let's go ahead and come back down onto the stomach. And let's do single leg kick. So in single leg kick, I'm going to set up a tripod. So intertwining my fingers, and then I'm going to think about pulling my chest forward. If this height is too much for you, come on down, right? You don't need to be very high, but watch your shoulders here. Make sure you're reaching forward and that your neck feels like it's a continuation of your upper back. Okay, so here we are. Pull your tummy in, right here. Pull that tummy in. Your ribs are sliding down towards your pelvis. And with the legs, we're going to point, flex, and lengthen. Point, flex, and lengthen. Point, flex, and lengthen. Point, flex, and lengthen. This is one of the things that can happen if you have tight quads and hip flexors. You drop your back, you drop your back, right? You drop your back. So you want to make sure that this area is not dropping. So you've got to pull those ribs in and up. My pubic bone is pretty firmly down on the floor. My ribs are drawn in and up. So point, flex, lengthen. Let's bring it up to tempo. And point, flex, lengthen. Point, flex, lengthen. Nice work. Exhale. Inhale. Can you keep the rest of the body quiet? Level one. Level one. Or here. And again. That's a different feeling. It's kind of nice. You can try it if you'd like. And again, open the shoulders. Ribs are up. 4 to go. 3 to go. 2 to go. Last one. And down. Let's bring our hands by our shoulders. Lift your core up. Once again, come back into a stretch. At this time, you could do maybe a hula hoop motion through your back. If you've been down on your tummy for a while, I think it's best not to come up and go boom into a child's pose too quickly. I like to transition more slowly. How about you? Do what serves you, okay? While we are in this position, let's go ahead and come down into a Z-sit. So this is a Z-sit. If you are not comfortable in this position, you could pull a chair out. I wanted to show you how you could also use a pillow right here. You could use a pillow. I put it right underneath my hip. And that allows my pelvis to be level. It doesn't put so much torque on my knee. So that's something to think about. You can also be seated in a chair for this next movement. What I'd like you to do is bring your arm up and over. We still have more exercises, but we're coming into a nice side bend series. And you're lengthening. Watch that your shoulders are away from your ears. The longer you hold this position, the more you're going to bring change into your thoracic spine and rib cage. I'm gently pressing, I'm kind of pressing up into my ribs on that left side. I might want to look down to relax my neck. I want to make sure my arm is not behind my head. So my hand is almost like I'm shading myself from the sun. And the left ribs are pulling up under the heart. You can even see that from the material on my shirt. The left ribs are pulling up under the heart. The right ribs are actually dropping, well, both sides of the rib cage are moving over to the right. These are going right in under the heart. These are going right and pulling down to the pelvis. So if you think of the bone rhythms, up and down, it can bring about 15% more movement. Left ribs coming up under the heart. If you don't like your hand up here, it doesn't feel good on your neck, put it down. It doesn't matter. You can, play with where that is for you. Maybe just the elbow. Let's just try the elbow. You could also do an isometric here with the head and the hand. See how that felt, but watch your shoulder. And then we're going to go over to the other side. Notice how the pelvis is stable here, so you can't get so much movement. It's nice and grounded. Let's keep the hand on the head. I think that's better for the shoulder. Again, the right ribs now, my ribs are shifting to the left. My right ribs are coming up under the heart. My left ribs are moving left, but also drawing down towards the ribs. They're bone rhythms. So if you think about the right ribs coming up under the heart, the left ribs down, can you get a little more side bend? I still have my core stabilizing. And let's alternate. Now let's do reach. Nice and tall. Lengthening. 2 more. Last one. As we go over to that left side, let's bring both hands around. If rotation like this is contraindicated for you, you could be doing any type of movements, more in alignment. We're going to rotate. I want to bring the ribs up under my heart here, rounding my back. And then watch this. I'm going to let this hip come up a little bit, and I'm going to reach my chest forward. And rounding. Inhale forward. Rounding. Inhale forward, rounding. Can you feel how the breath is being guided by your rib movement? Last one. Bring your hand back in, come back to your side bend, and up. Good, let's switch to the other side. So why is this important? Again, the thoracic spine is meant to have mobility, side bending, rotation. As we get older, we lose that. As we hold a lot of tension in our lives, we lose that. So I think this time of our lives, could be helpful. I've placed that pillow under my right hip. So you can see that if you need it, try it without. Again, it helps to keep the hips more level. It takes the torque away. So play with that if you'd like. Additionally, the breath, the lungs help to mobilize your rib cage and thoracic spine. So working on these movements where we're incorporating breath along with movement, they can create this lovely change in our system. So if you're seated on a chair, you'd have both feet down on the floor, and you could do the same thing, maybe hook this hand under your chair. And again, I'm starting with the hand here. I just think overall it's better for us. I'm pushing a little bit up into this side from this hand. It's like a kickstand. Good. And then imagine somebody just looped a rope under your elbow, and they're gently lifting you up a yoga belt. I want to remind you, your right ribs are coming up under your heart. Again, you can see that. And your left ribs are drawing down. So in your mind's eye, mind-body connection, can you visualize your right ribs coming up? There. And then what about your left ribs going down? I find that visual is very helpful. And breathing and reaching that elbow up, relaxing the shoulders, less can be more. Big breath. You can feel that your left lung is more available for breathing now too. The right lung is closed down a bit. Let's go to the other side. And here we go. We're pressing away. I don't go as far on this side. Draw those ribs. Ribs are shifting to the right and up under the heart on the left side, down to the pelvis on the right. Good. I'm pushing a little bit using my kickstand here. I'm going to see if this pillow makes a difference for me on this side. So again, inviting you to play. Oh, that feels better. So I'm going to use this for this side. Yeah, can you see how much more movement I can get into the rib cage here? And I don't feel so compromised through my knee. That's a good thing. Oh, there we go. Imagine that yoga belt or your yoga teacher or me drawing your elbow up. Your Pilates teacher. Big breath. Good. And then we're going to go back. I think I'm going to move this away for the side to side. So we're going to go here and here. So I'm trying that without the pillow. And keep going, please. You know, I'm going to bring it back in. It feels safer for my right SI joint. Much better. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel the breath in through your rib cage and your lungs. Inhale to the right lung. Exhale the right. Inhale the right. Exhale the right. Relax the neck. Oh, that feels good. Last two. Yep, last one. Good work. Okay, so we're going over to that rotation. I think I'll move that pillow out. Yeah, that feels better to me. Whatever feels better to you. It's perfect. So from here, we're going to scoop in and up. Feel the ribs come up under the heart, right? And then I'm going to gently pull I'm kind of pulling my hands back into the mat and scooping my ribs in and up. And then this is nice, I can push away. I'm pushing back with my hands. I can feel that sternum softening. I'm going to check my shoulders and then forward. Let's exhale as we move back. Squeeze all the air out of your lungs. Inhale forward. Exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale. Inhale forward. More is not better. Well, I guess that depends on what we're talking about, right? And more sunshine feels good right now. 2 more. You guys, last one. Pressing back, bring your hand over, back over to the side and center. We're going to come up to a seated position. If sitting up tall like this makes you round your back, guess what you have? And I'll go ahead and just demonstrate this with the pillow. Okay, so I can sit up much easier here. There's no strain on my hamstrings. If you're suffering from any sort of hamstring strain, you should not be stretching your hamstrings. So please be aware of that. Sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to have my hands out to the sides. I think I'll face you. So the hands are out to the sides. And this is a bit of a nerve stretch through the shoulders. Again, we're sort of counteracting all the movement forward we do during the day. Let's pull the toes to the face, anchor the legs. Good. Can you get a little more length between your pelvis and your ribs without doing that? Right? So press your sitting bones down, lengthen your spine, push down into your pinkies, and try to open up as wide as you can. You might feel a little tingling, a little nerviness. It's okay. We don't want to live there, but it's okay to get a bit of that. And then we're going to bring the arms up, and then we're going to round over our legs. Turning to the side for you. We're going to round over the legs. And then we're just going to relax our feet. We're going to relax our arms. And then we're going to stack our spine. Can you feel your sitting bones, your sacrum, your low back, your thoracic spine? And then once again, let's get those hands out to the side. You can point or flex, whatever works, or just relax. So get that length. How tall can you get? And you're reaching your fingers out to your sides. And then you slowly begin to bring those arms up and out. Really stretch it, really stretch it, really stretch it. And then as you exhale, draw those ribs up and under. Relax your jaw and just hang over your legs for a moment. Now the ribs in the front are coming up under the heart. The ribs in the back are lengthening down towards the pelvis. So can you work with that visualization of your bone rhythms and find a little more support or curve through your body? Your back does need support here. Keep your pelvic floor and abs on board. Once again, stack your spine up. Let's do one more. Nice and tall. Good. Broader, more open, more open, more open. And reach those arms as far out, as far out, as far out. Open those fingers. Feel that nerve stretch. And as you exhale, scoop your belly in and up. Relax your mouth. Let your jaw relax, shoulders relaxed, hands are by your sides. And then stacking your spine back up. We're coming into some rotation in this position. So let's go ahead and separate the legs a little bit. Scoot back so that you can see my feet. Good. Again, use your pillow if you need it. If you can't sit up without rounding your back, get your pillow up underneath you, okay? We're going to have the hands right at the heart center. And we're going to be pointing our toes, and we're going to turn 3 times to the left. 1, 2, 3, and back to center. Line your chin up with your hands. 1, 2, 3. Come back to center. 1, 2, 3. Notice as you go to the right, does your left hip go forward? Try to keep this anchored. Let's pull our toes up and anchor our feet now. 1, 2, 3. To feel that a little more, let's bring the legs together. So now you can tell whether your pelvis is going to move. So right here, 1, keep that right leg back. 2, 3, thoracic rotation. 1, cervical rotation. 2, 3. Let's inhale, sniff. Shh. That's core bringing you back. Shh. Watch your right leg. Is it going forward? Is your right hip going forward? Other side, sniff. Watch your left leg. Is it going forward? Good, nice work. Now, let's go ahead and separate the legs. Let's open the arms. Rotate over to the left. Turn your left thumb down. I want to have you stay here for just a moment. If your legs are gripping a lot, you might need a pillow. If you're gripping a lot, you might need to get up a little bit higher. So the ribs on the right are pulling down towards the pelvis. The ribs on the left are pulling back, but they're coming up under the heart. So can you visualize that for a moment? Relax your arms a little bit. Relax your arms. Can you visualize? I'll say this again. The right ribs are pulling down and forward towards your pelvis. The left ribs are pulling back and up under your heart. If you visualize that, can you feel that you might get a little more movement? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let's come back to center. Let's go to the other side. Okay, relax your arms. Right, so the left ribs are pulling down towards your pelvis, kind of across towards that right hip. The right ribs are pulling up, back, but also up under the heart. So if you work with that visual of the ribs down in the front and up under the heart in the back, does that give you a little more movement? You got to get your mind-body connection around it. Okay, so now you sort of have that idea. Let's try that twist, twist, twist. Here we go. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Right ribs down. Left ribs down. Excuse me. And again. We're turning this combination. We've already done the rounding. We've done the rotation. We're coming into saw. So it'll be a combination of rotation and then that flexion component. Okay, for comfort of your shoulder, remember the arm that's in the back, the thumb goes down. Here we go, nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Remember that nerve stretch? Inhale, scoop the ribs up under the heart. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, scoop the ribs under the heart. Inhale, that really helped me move. Try that. Inhale, ribs under the heart. In the front. Inhale and exhale. Try that again. Inhale, scoop the ribs in. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale. And inhale and exhale. Good work. I'd like to do some plank. I do love plank. It is a great bang for your buck exercise. Do what works for you. Use the variation that works for you. So let's go ahead and start on with our forearms. Okay, so intertwining, you can sort of create this nice closed chain of the hands together. Really feel your strength. Level 1. Come on down to your knees and squeeze your heels together. My knees are a little bit wider and my heels are coming together. So level 1, you'll be right here. Now the thing that everybody tends to do is kind of sag through the shoulders. So can you bring that up a bit? Level 2, you're on the balls of your feet. Good, so check your form out. I'm gonna tuck my shirt in here. And make sure you're breathing. Remember, gravity's gonna win. So we're just trying to stave that off as much as possible. So if you need a break, feel free to go into your break. Squeeze your glutes, please. Get nice and long. Make sure you're not collapsing through the shoulder blades or dropping the head. Good, so level 1, come down to your knees and take a break. Level 2, we're coming up to a full push-up position. Watch your elbows, squeeze your glutes, get nice and long. From the heels to the top of the head. You can rock forward and back if you want. Keep drawing those ribs in and up. Feel the core support you need here. Level 1, join us at any time. We're coming back down, right? So level 1, you could be here on those knees. Find your length, you guys. Feel the vibration coming into your body. It's a lot of work. Get your glutes on board, strong legs, whole body active. Let's come up one more time. Find that glute support. Are you sagging? Are you dropping the head? Can you stay long? Watch those elbows. You're not hyperextending. Hold it for 5. Hold it for 4. Hold it for 3. Hold it for 2. Hold it for 1. Now this is a good time for a child's stretch. Child's pose and breathe. We're almost done. You've done such a great job. Such a great job. So we're almost done. The last thing I want to do is have you come up onto your knees. If you're not comfortable on your knees, then maybe come to a standing position and just work with a little balance. Make sure you have a chair or something near you. So this movement, I teach this in my class a lot, is hands on the hips. We bring the right leg forward and then we bring it back. And then the left foot forward and then we bring it back. So a seemingly easy exercise, but it's not, right? It challenges your balance. The other thing I'd like you to notice is when you bring your leg through, does it go like that? Right, out to the side. Can you bring your leg straight through and center? Can you bring your leg straight through and center? So, you know, some attempts are better than others. My hands are on my hips to make sure that when my leg comes through, I'm not hiking. Ultimately, I want to be able to bring that leg through with the pelvis staying level. Good. Now I want to add one thing, and I want you to tell me, tell me if you feel like this makes it easier. Remember that isometric where we had the hands behind the head? Okay, so let's bring the hands behind the head. I'm pushing my head back, right? Pushing my head back and my hand is pulling forward. So I've got that isometric. Feel how right away you've got more support and more length here. So if you're not, if balance, you're not feeling too precarious, be aware of what's around you. See if you can bring your legs through a little easier, keeping the hands behind the head and that isometric. For me, I have so much more length and space here, and the leg comes through more easily. It feels that way to me anyway. Nice work. Can you get a little taller? Sorry, I might be yelling at you. 2 more. Last one. That is so great. So great. Nice work. Open those arms. Roll those shoulders a little bit. Good work. I'm going to come down and come into a figure 4 stretch. If you'd like to join me, you're moving on into your day. Thanks for coming along this far. Figure 4, one foot over the knee, right foot over the knee. Level 1, I'm going to put my hand right here. Left hand on my pelvis to make sure it's not hiking. Right hand on my hip, on my knee. And I'm pressing it away to stretch my hip. Remember, we want to maintain our stability in our hip sockets so that we are not trying to find movement into our SI joint or low back or creating issues up inside that hip socket. Level 2, you can bring this leg in. But again, watch the hip. Make sure that it's not hiking. And watch this for a minute, instead of collapsing, if I collapse my back and roll into it, I don't feel as much stretch here. If I push my tailbone down to the floor, so I've got that neutral pelvis, much more engagement here, much more stretch. Extend that other leg up if you'd like, and I'm going to add just a little spiral. If you want to feel this spiral, but this stretch is too much for you, place your foot down and be done with that right leg, and then just do a spiral. I like to intertwine my fingers, and I'm feeling the weight of the leg here. Just pulling on my shoulders, relaxing. I'm not caring that my shoulders are a little forward. It feels good to me right now. Eyes up to the ceiling, jaw relaxed. Do a little pointing and flexing. This is press on the gas and then pull the washcloth back. Press on the gas and pull the washcloth back. Yeah. So great. Let's try that other leg. Left foot down, right foot up. My right hand's going to go over on that right hip to make sure it's not going to hike. Let me turn around. Make sure it doesn't hike. So this stays level. Sorry, reverse that. My left hand is on my left hip, and I'm pressing this leg out. I'm wondering if I reverse that. Yeah, okay, here we go. So my right hand is on my right hip, my left hand is on my left leg. Teachers get confused too sometimes. Apparently I can't turn around and get the right side, so I'll just stay here. So level 1, this is enough for you, right? You're pressing gently away. Your hip isn't hiking over here. Level 2, you can draw the knee in and you can relax your back. And then level 3, don't relax your back. Anchor a little more down towards the tailbone. Eyes are up. Check where you may be working too hard through your chest and your shoulders. Begin to really come into your body in relaxation and your breath. And then level 2, you can keep your left leg here and hold on to the leg here and do a little circling. Or any or all of you can place this foot down. I sort of like this for the pull into my upper body a bit. And then again, I'm circling. Maybe your head will circle with your toes. And reversing it. Try to articulate, really articulate your toes. Spread them, curl them. Let's press on the gas and curl back. Press on the gas and curl back. Yep. That is great. Roll to one side and come up. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you got some or maybe all of what you needed That would be a big, big deal. But at least some of what you needed today. And I look forward to seeing you next time here in my studio. Thank you so much. Hands at the heart. Everybody take a big breath in. See you next time. Thank you.